And says it's 10 o'clock. We will go ahead and get started. Lindsay, could you please start the recording?
Recording in progress.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This voter registration challenge hearing is called to order. I am Marianne Nichols, the Padre County Auditor, and I will be presiding over today's hearing. The challenge was made more than 45 days prior to the election. Therefore, the Padre County Auditor shall preside over the hearing. RCW 29A088201. This hearing was properly noticed on the Padre County webpage and posted on January 19th, 2024. This is a voter registration challenge hearing being held pursuant to Chapter 29A08 RCW Revised Code of Washington. This challenge relates to the voter registration of Michael Piccirilli. The challenger is Pollyanna Dickinson Jones, who is a registered voter. Today is Wednesday, February 7th, 2024, and the time according to my phone is exactly 10:01 a.m. This hearing is being recorded electronically. I would like to go ahead and introduce my staff that is present here today. I have my Elections Division Manager, Elizabeth Krasneski. I have my Elections Deputy, Stacey Hughes. And also present is my Deputy Prosecuting Attorney, Brandon Slavin, who is Counselor to the Auditor's Office. I see that Ms. Jones, Ms. Dickinson Jones is present. Please note the record for that. And then I also see that our challenged voter, Mr. Piccirilli, is present. Please note the record for that as well. This challenge was initiated pursuant to RCW 29A088101CI, which allows a person's right to vote to be challenged by another registered voter. The challenger contends that the voter does not live at the residential address shown on the voter registration records. Mr. Piccirilli's current voter registration record is 804 West Blackwell, number 5, Ione, Washington, 99139. The challenger provided what she thinks is the voter's actual residential address of 104 to 108 West 4th Avenue, Medellin Falls, Washington, 99153. The challenge was initiated by the filing of a voter registration challenge affidavit on January 17th, 2024. Notification of this hearing was provided to the challenger and the challenged voter via certified letter January 19th, 2024. Residence for the purpose of voter registration is defined by RCW 29A04151 as follows. Residence for the purpose of registering and voting means a person's permanent address where he or she physically resides and maintains his or her abode. A person who lacks a traditional residence will be registered to vote pursuant to RCW 29A08112 and assigned a precinct based on the location provided. RCW 29A08112 states, no person registering to vote who meets the qualifications of a registered voter in the state of Washington shall be disqualified because he or she lacks a traditional residential address. A voter who lacks a traditional residential address will be registered and assigned to a precinct based on the location provided. For the purposes of this section, a voter who resides in a shelter, park, motorhome, marina, unmarked home, or other identifiable location that the voter deems to be his or her residence lacks a traditional address. A voter who registers under this section must provide a valid mailing address and must still meet the requirements in Article 4, Section 1 of the state constitution, that he or she live in the area for at least 30 days before the election. A person who has a traditional residential address and does not reside on an Indian reservation or on Indian lands must use that address for voter registration purposes and is not eligible to register under this section. Under RCW 29A08810 and RCW 29A08112, registration of a person as a voter is presumptive evidence of his or her right to vote. The burden to prove otherwise is therefore upon the challenger. Pursuant to RCW 29A0884004, the challenger must prove by clear and convincing evidence that the voter's registration is improper. The singular issue for me to decide is whether or not the address on Mr. Piccirilli's voter registration is the location of Mr. Piccirilli's traditional or non-traditional residence. This hearing is held in order to allow both parties, the challenger and the voter, to present their facts and arguments. As a preliminary matter, I will first ask Elections Manager Elizabeth Krasneski to present the evidence the auditor's office has on file with respect to Mr. Piccirilli's voter registration record. Secondly, the challenger, Ms. Dickinson-Jones, will present her case. Then the challenged voter, Mr. Piccirilli, may present his case. Ms. Dickinson-Jones will then have an opportunity to respond solely on the issues raised in Mr. Piccirilli's case. All testimony will be under oath. The way this will work is that each party will be given 10 minutes to present their case, and because the challenger carries the burden of proof, she will be allowed, if she wishes, an additional 5 minutes at the close of the voter's case to respond solely to the issues that are raised during the voter's testimony. The formal rules of evidence do not apply to this hearing. Evidence, including hearsay evidence, will be admitted if, in my judgment, it's evidence which reasonably prudent people are accustomed to relying on in their conduct and affairs. I must exclude evidence that is excludable on constitutional or statutory grounds or on the basis of evidentiary privilege. I may exclude evidence that is irrelevant, immaterial, or unduly repetitious. After both sides have made their presentation, the record will be closed and the hearing will be adjourned. I will review the facts and arguments, including any evidence that's submitted by the parties prior to issuing my decision. If the challenger fails to prove by clear and convincing evidence that the registration is improper, the challenge must be dismissed. Don't anticipate a ruling orally today. I will issue my written decision not later than 5 days from today. However, I will work to review and issue my decision as soon as possible. My decision is subject to judicial review as provided in RCW 29A-088406. So before we proceed to hear the parties' cases, I'm going to ask Elizabeth Krasneski, my elections manager, to present the evidence that the auditor's office has on file in respect to Mr. Piccirilli's voter registration challenge. Please stand up and I will swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, go ahead. Let me present what you have.
Thank you, Auditor Nichols. The evidence submitted thus far is this. Exhibit A, the voter registration form of Michael Piccirilli. Exhibit B, the voter registration challenge form submitted by Pollyanna Dickinson-Jones. Exhibit C, proof of voter registration of Pollyanna Dickinson-Jones. Exhibit D, the declaration from Pollyanna Dickinson-Jones. Exhibit E, the notification of the voter registration challenge sent to Mr. Piccirilli. Exhibit F, the tracking receipts of the certified mail sent to Mr. Piccirilli. Exhibit G, screenshots of the Ponderay County election webpage where the posting of the voter challenge was. Exhibit H, Michael Piccirilli's response declaration. Exhibit I, notification to Pollyanna Dickinson-Jones of Michael Piccirilli's response declaration. Exhibit J, tracking receipts of certified mail to Pollyanna Dickinson-Jones. And Exhibit K, the response addendum submitted by Michael Piccirilli.
If we could let the record show that Ms. Dickinson-Jones had not received her mail yet, so I did give her a copy of that this morning after she got it. All right, Ms. Dickinson-Jones, did you want to give testimony this morning?
Yes.
All right, well, I'm going to swear you in. You're welcome to stand. You can sit, whichever is most comfortable for you. If you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, you have 10 minutes. I'm going to have Stacy go ahead and time us, and she'll give us a 1 minute warning so you can wrap up when we get there.
Okay. So I am Pollyanna Dickinson-Jones, and I submitted the voter challenge against Michael Piccirilli. My first statement is in regards to his response. He is now saying that he did live in a single wide manufactured home, which is number 5 in the mobile home park. Since the initial filing, I was able to speak with Brian Hooker, who is the owner of the Ione Mobile Home Park, until last Wednesday, the 31st, when they closed and it went under new ownership. Mr. Hooker advised that Michael Piccirilli had rented an RV camper spot that was located behind the green single wide trailer. He never lived in the single wide identified as number 5. He lived in a camper trailer. The RV camper spot was a month-to-month rental agreement and ended on September 30th, 2023. Mr. Hooker said that Michael Piccirilli did in fact have his own camper trailer that he stayed at the RV camper spot prior to September 30th, which he also in his statement said he had to move because he could not afford to live there anymore because the rent went up and his only option was a camper spot that he didn't have a camper for, so he would have to purchase a camper. He already had a camper according to who he rented from. And again, that spot was only rented to him until September 30th of 2023 in the Ione Mobile Home Park. Michael Piccirilli started renting an apartment at the Oreille Apartments in Medellin Falls beginning October 1st of 2023. Michael Piccirilli also completed a declaration of candidacy and or petition of nomination for the Ione Town Council position prior to the November election. At that time, he was living in Medellin Falls and did not share that pertinent information with anyone. RCW 352780, eligibility to hold elective office. No person shall be eligible to hold an elective office in a town unless he or she is a resident and a registered voter in the town. In December of 2023, Michael Piccirilli was sworn in as an Ione Town Council member by the Auditor. Again, another instance where he didn't feel it was pertinent to share he was living in Medellin Falls. RCW 29A 84311, a person who knowingly provides false information on a declaration of candidacy or a petition for nomination is guilty of a Class C felony. RCW 29A 84130. It is also a Class C felony to knowingly provide false information on an application for voter registration. Voter registration is what is used to determine qualification to run for an office in a particular jurisdiction. And then RCW 9A 2021 1C, if convicted, the person could face a jail sentence of up to 5 years and or a fine of up to $10,000. Michael Piccirilli was the petitioner at a court proceeding on January 25th, 2024, in which the judge asked Mr. Piccirilli numerous times about his current residence. The judge finally stated after about 3 times, Michael Piccirilli, do you currently live in Ione, Washington? Michael Piccirilli's response was, yes, I do. Michael Piccirilli has quoted the MRSC numerous times in legal documents and in Ione Town Council meetings. If he knows the MRSC so very well, then he clearly knew exactly what he was doing and that he was committing fraud. Everything in his statement is a contradiction and shows a blatant inability to tell the truth. All I have.
Thank you very much. Mr. Piccirilli, did you want to give testimony today?
No,
Response?
I submitted it.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so I don't even need you to respond then. All right, thank you both today for being here. The record is now going to be closed, and I'm going to go ahead and adjourn the hearing. I will review the matter and issue. I'll issue a written decision in 5 days, and will mail the decision to both parties and post on the website. However, I would like to notify both of you electronically of my decision, if that's okay. Ms. Dickinson Jones, do I have your permission to notify you electronically?
Yes.
Mr. Piccirilli?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Let the record note that they both said yes to that. And so with that, this hearing is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.